All right, welcome back to our channel, guys. This is We Are Growth Hack. I'm David, and today I'm here with my very good friend Peter from Sweden, but in Hong Kong right now. Welcome, Peter.
Thank you, David. Good to be here and good to see you again.
Oh yeah, it's been a while since we didn't meet each other, right?
A bit too long. I miss you.
I miss you too, bro. So tell us, you are in Hong Kong right now.
That's correct. I'm in Hong Kong, where I've been living since 2012, preparing for Chinese New Year, which is a big holiday here. So I think this is the last day office is opened, and then for the next 10 days, it will be pretty quiet around here.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, I'm starting to get the messages on WeChat, Happy New Year, Gong Chi Fa Choi, right? How do you say that?
Exactly. Don't forget to give away your red pockets, right?
Oh yeah, I think I finished my WeChat Lucky Money and I cannot withdraw from my bank. So,
Okay, okay.
so tell us, how did you end up in Hong Kong? At the very first place, how long you've been there, and what kind of business you were doing in Hong Kong?
Yeah, so the reason I came to Hong Kong was I was already living in South China, in Guangdong province, where I was sent out as a mechanical engineer in 2007 to work for a Swedish company. And I ended up becoming the managing director of that factory with 350 employees. It was a machining factory that did a lot of mechanical parts for European industry. And one thing led to another, and then in 2012, I decided with my wife that we wanted to move over to Hong Kong, just to kind of change the environment and have a little bit more of a Western lifestyle. So after spending almost 5 years in China, I felt it was time to move. We came to Hong Kong, and we pretty much settled down here ever since. So like I said, it's been almost 9 years now. And
Yeah,
time flies.
yeah, yeah. And you've been selling on Amazon for quite a while, right?
Yeah, first came in contact with Amazon in 2011. Took me 2 years to jump on the train. Developed my own private label in 2014, which I worked on for about 4 years. During that period, I developed some skills that every Amazon seller does. And those skills were requested, and I started to do some consulting work on the side. And when I eventually sold my own private label, I became a full-time Amazon consultant.
How much did you sell your private label for? I mean, how much did you invest initially, and what was the outcome that you were able to sold your FBA business for?
When I started, I took money out of my pocket that I was making in the salary, so I didn't have any startup capital. I was pretty much taking some of my salary, buying some initial inventory, trying it out, and then that capital grew with the sales. I kept the profit in, and then reinvested it in new products, etc., etc. So it was not a huge business. It was a side gig for about a year before I dropped everything and focused on it fully. And I received about 2.7x the annual net profit.
Okay, and
Right.
that
I
was
think
in
it's pretty much standard.
yeah, that was in 2018, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is super cool, and we are seeing how this entire business of selling your Amazon FBA company business assets is actually booming right now. So what was that? I mean, how could you find an interested buyer? And let's say, how was your FBA business structure at that time? How many products did you have already in your inventory? And why did they buy that?
Okay, so plain and simple top figures. First of all, I met this online broker at the Global Sources Summit for online sellers, right?
Yeah,
Where we met each other a few times.
exactly.
Yeah, and so this broker, Empire Flippers, was one of the speakers, and I thought it was pretty interesting. Like any entrepreneur, you're always interested in knowing new resources or new things to learn. So I came in touch with them at that point, sometime 2017, I believe it was, and then we kept staying in touch. At the time of I sold the business, I had about 50 SKUs
Mm-hmm.
I had the majority of the sales, I would say 80% in the US, 20% in Europe, where I mainly sold in the UK and in Germany. The buyer was an American company, and they didn't buy my Hong Kong company. They pretty much bought the asset, which
Mm-hmm.
was pretty much the Amazon seller account.
Yeah.
Trademarks. I had trademarked the brand in the US, Europe, China, Hong Kong. I had 4 trademarks, which protected me quite a lot and also enabled the brand registry. So the buyer was not an aggregator. It was not somebody who was buying up businesses like we see today. It was 2 partners, 2 guys who pretty much wanted to get into the e-commerce space in Amazon, and instead of doing it themselves, they saw this as an opportunity to kind of take off quickly. So it was a good fit. I had 2 or 3 different calls before that, offers that I turned down, and the business was going in the right direction. Profit were growing. I was increasing my SKUs, and you didn't ask me, but I can tell you that the reason I sold it was pretty much I had 2 options. Given the landscape at that moment, more sellers coming in from China, the competition was getting more and more fierce. I saw a potential decline in profits. So it was either to partner up with somebody with muscles and that could help me scale this business up in terms of a wider portfolio of products, or at that time we were expecting another kid, and living in Hong Kong requires quite a lot of resources. So I was like, okay, I want to focus on my kid, and I can't focus on the business at the same time, and I don't mind having some cash on hand. So it was looking in hindsight, it was the right decision to do, definitely.
Yeah, that's amazing, and I guess you have said a lot of interesting things, because I'm recently interviewing a lot of entrepreneurs who have sold their Amazon business, and they all say you have to exit at the right time. Probably is not after the first offer that they give you. Probably that offer cannot come back. Probably becomes a better offer, but you need to develop your assets. You need to have a lot of products, good products. You need to work on your promotion, brand registry, trademark, etc. So this is definitely good. So how's your consulting going right now? Because me and you, we are pretty much the top consultants in Hong Kong, both on Google for presence, SEO, and everything. What can you help sellers with?
Yeah, so I consider myself a full-service Amazon consultant, basically providing every resource or every aspect of a business, everything from account setup, which could be a hassle for many, to initial product research, competitor analysis, keyword research, product listing building, image and video services. So we are a team where when we pull ourselves together, we can provide everything to make a complete listing. And then also to the launch phase, the PPC management, and the continuous management of an account. Might be a lot of sellers, I wouldn't say sellers that are entrepreneurs or startups, because they are aware of this, but especially brands that are already established off Amazon. They would think that Amazon is something that you could do a little bit with the left hand or without any dedicated resources, and that's not the case. You need some full-time dedicated resources to monitor, yourself, to really keep track on everything that comes from account suspension to product suspension to stranded inventory to customer service to reorder management. Launching new products, optimizing PPC so you don't waste money. There's a lot of things you need to do. And if you cannot have the resources set aside for it, or they don't have the knowledge on how to manage it, then they will come to an agency like yourself or myself, and we can help out either during a transitional time or a continuous time. Most of my clients are on board for a couple of years. I didn't have anybody leave unless they had a strategic decision to kind of drop Amazon as a whole.
I would say this is really important to see, you know, when a client is a good fit for an agency or an agency is a good fit for a client. This is, I think, the onboarding process and deciding whether the two parties are going to get married and have a happy marriage for long term. You know, this is very important. I get sometimes, you know, those kind of requests that I already can see it's going to be not a waste of time, but I already know that this is not going to be a happy marriage, because when you have this solopreneur or this entrepreneur doing everything by himself, and he puts so much attention to the details, and he says, okay, I know how to do this, I know how to do that, so why you're interested in hiring an agency? You need to know why you need that. You need to know what kind of struggle we can, you know, remove from your daily job, because there is something you can do, something else you cannot do. If you want to do everything by yourself, that's completely fine. But when we're talking about companies, brands who want to scale their business, and they don't have the resources in-house, or they don't want to pass through the struggle of hiring people that are highly skilled in different kind of assets management, inventory, you know, pricing strategy, PPC advertising, creative, getting ranking, external traffic, etc., or translating all of their listings into, you know, different languages for all the marketplaces, that would take a lot of time to, you know, hire this kind of resources. That's when you really need an agency to help you scale your business. Talking about the different languages, I know that you provide also some kind of services for European marketplaces. What is that?
That's great. I am a European from origin. I'm from Sweden, like you mentioned in the beginning. And so I am offering now a e-retail solution in Europe for brands that do not want to go through the hassle of setting up their accounts, or they didn't manage to set up their accounts, or they just want to test the market before putting in the efforts on investments, right? So we are offering now the retail solutions on our own accounts in the UK, Germany and France. So if there are brands, established brands, preferably, that want to add Amazon as an additional sales channel and want to try it out, then we can help do that. And it's a very simple model where we work after a price list, reseller price list, agreed budget on ad spending, and we take the full responsibility on reordering and VAT reporting and paying the sales tax on the respective marketplace. So might it be that you are not, you are a brand, you're established in Sweden, you're established in France or whatever, and you want to test Germany, right? Then you can come to us and you can say, okay, we want to test Germany. Then we agree on a product selection that our research that we use in our consulting business will help decide what products we believe in, and then we decide on the quantities together, and we work together in order to have a successful marriage, like you said.
Yeah.
And at some point they can decide whether they want to go and fly, try their own wings.
Yeah.
But at that point, their risk is minimal because everything has been tested.
Exactly. Yeah, I think that this is amazing. You know, having now the opportunity to test the waters into a different market, in the foreign market where you have no experience. And I get this all the time, because so an agency like mine, where we don't have, you know, we don't provide this kind of services, we could just tell, okay, to the customer, we can do the research for you. It can be an amazing research, but still you have to do the step by yourself. But if you have someone actually providing this kind of service, they actually sell your product, resell your products into this new marketplace with their account. That's, you know, you minimize your risk. So this is definitely good. So yeah, definitely, guys. By the way, remember to like this video and subscribe for more free content. We give a lot of tips. We share a lot of, you know, useful information, useful services for Amazon sellers. Doesn't matter if you're in China, in the US, in Europe, etc. We share everything that we can. Remember to subscribe and like this video, and get in touch with Peter if you want some more information on how to set up this European retail solution, or if you want to have just a quick chat, if you're tired of listening to my consulting and you want to hear, you know, a different bell. Peter,
I'm not as half the charm as you are, so I think it would be not too many people taking you up on that offer.
Yeah, we love to hear different opinions. You know, I'm quite happy to have you on the show here, Peter. Let's talk more about Hong Kong. You know, some requests that we have recently is, okay, how to open up a company in Hong Kong. Why should I open a company in Hong Kong? Why did I open a company in Hong Kong? I can tell you, I'm so happy with what I did. I'm European. I've been living in China. I've seen what it takes to do business in China, to transact money in and out of China. And so far, as of today, we don't really have a lot of problems with Hong Kong. It means freedom. What is your take on that?
Yeah, I mean, this hasn't the situation hasn't changed what it was 10 years ago. It's still the same ease to open up in a company. You can less than $1,000 US. You can have a company up and running within 48 hours, technically speaking, right? What you have to set up aside from that is, of course, bank accounts, which, like any other place, they want to see what kind of business you're doing, or a business plan on what you're planning on doing. So that could be a little bit of a tricky part, especially if you're not here physically. So you need to have a CPA, a certified public accountant, to help you. And that is actually something also that we help sellers with, to set up the company structure and the bank accounting in Hong Kong. So I am sharing offices with our CPA. Our CPA has helped over 50 Amazon sellers that want to be in Hong Kong, either as a limited company or as a BVI, a British Virgin Island company. So there are all kinds of different methods. But the benefits of having a company in Hong Kong is, when you deal with China, it's very easy. The Chinese, they trust what comes from Hong Kong. It's easy to transfer money between Hong Kong and China. Most Chinese banks have branches in Hong Kong, so you can direct deposits to those banks. You can easily work with your supplier through those branches. And also the corporate tax is very beneficial. So first of all, everything is deductible. Compared to where I come from, it's very difficult to I had this business dinner with David, and it cost $1,000 US, and we had a lot of fun, but it was good for business. They would say, no, you cannot do like that. It has to be maximum $100. But here, it is very easy to pretty much deduct everything on your company expense. And profit taxes, normal rate is 16.5%. Now it's discounted to half, 8.25% for the profit up to 2 million Hong Kong dollar. So for startups, they're making it as easy as possible for startups to set up companies. They give us subsidies. You can invest in software to run your business, like bookkeeping systems, etc. And it's easy to do business and set up companies in Hong Kong.
Yeah, I think that actually what Hong Kong still wants to do is to be perceived as, a place where it's easy to make, to make business especially between the West and China. They still want to be there, especially after all the on and offs that's been going on, all the little troubles with unsocial unrest. And by the way, I will ask you about this later, so how the life in Hong Kong is. So Hong Kong is still a quite safe place to be. I mean, I had a great time in Hong Kong. I'm still technically resident in Hong Kong, even though I'm enjoying my life in Phuket right now. But I really can't wait to be back as soon as possible. And having a company in Hong Kong is amazing. Really, you can do business from wherever. You can accept money and send money from wherever. The rates are great. Taxes are perfect. You have a lot of benefits if you're a resident in Hong Kong. So definitely check it out if you want to do online business. I would say both for an Amazon seller or for a digital marketing agency, for a freelancer, a digital nomad, that's really the place where you have to be financially. So Hong Kong is really good. So let's talk about Hong Kong right now. There's been a lot of things going on since 2018, 2019, 2020. How is this kind of protest? Are they still going on? 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 Are they still going
No, I would say you don't see anything from the social unrest or the protests.
Okay.
Ever since the pandemic struck and there were restrictions put in place, people didn't gather in masses anymore. And coming up to the was it the Chinese National Day? I believe it was last year in June. Mainland China, they implemented the national security law, which basically made it illegal to gather and protest against the government. Mm-hmm. So even though Hong Kong has freedom of speech, I would say in the practicality, you are not allowed to say whatever you want anymore. So what happened was that this law was implemented, the national security law, and whoever protested was arrested.
Okay. Yeah.
So ever since then, I would say I haven't seen or heard anything about any protest.
Yeah.
And we still have the pandemic in place.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you're not allowed to gather in groups because if you do, you will get arrested, right?
Yeah.
So it's a very weird situation, and I think we can't know exactly how it will look like when everything calms down or kind of gets back to normal, where people can go out as normal and meet each other. Yeah, but coming back to a safe place, it's probably the safest place in the world. Seriously.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never felt safer. And I have not had any trouble or had any crime committed against me or my family or anybody I know, to be honest. It's amazing.
Yeah. I remember I have some friends in the police in Hong Kong, and we were just speaking about this. Their job is pretty much, if we don't consider, the protest, that was before the protest time, right? Their job is pretty much to help the ladies, walk in the street. Seriously, this is what they do.
No, you're missing one thing. Their main task is to put parking tickets.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I tell you, they are not liked. Because wherever they are, they're trying to put parking tickets, and they love it. You can see it in their face. They love it. And all the citizens just hate it. That's the parking tickets. 320 Hong Kong dollars.
Wow, yeah, that's a lot. Well, Peter, that was great. We had a quick, fresh update about Hong Kong. I really can't wait to be back. I mean, I'm supposed to be back as soon as possible. I just don't want to do this 3 weeks of quarantine. And I still enjoy the life here in Phuket. I'm not turning around my camera because it's so sunny outside.
Yeah,
it is. So that was great, guys. Get in touch with Peter or with me if you want to have some consulting about Amazon. We can do one-to-one coaching. We can make your listings. We can help you with PPC advertising. We can help you launch your products in Europe. We can translate into any language. All right, Peter, do you also provide listings in Japanese, for example?
It's not my specialty, but of course, with the help of my friend David, I can do
that. Yeah, we can do that. So, guys, and definitely check this retail solution for Europe. Peter is opening up a door in Europe for you that is absolutely painless. You don't have to set up an account. Just give them your product, and they will do it for you. And then if you want to sell it yourself, just get back and do it yourself. Peter, that was amazing. We will probably leave contact information or a link to your website so people can directly get in touch with you. This is super cool. Tell us the last thing. Where do you see Amazon going in 2021?
Yeah, I think Amazon will continue on the path they are right now, expanding marketplaces. Recently, we've seen Sweden open up. A few days ago, maybe last week, Poland opened up. Very big and interesting market with 40 million people just next door to Germany. So I think they will continue to expand marketplaces and with the end goal of world dominance. And right now we see very little presence in Asia. We only see Singapore after they shut down China. So I think they will work on Asia more. When it comes to sellers, we see a lot of aggregators right now buying up businesses and consolidating them and hiring experts, like some of the top brains in the Amazon world in their teams to run and structure those businesses. So I think we will see the sellers being swallowed up and becoming like a part of a bigger group. That's how it looks like. So it will might make it a little bit more harder for smaller businesses. So you should definitely consider partnering up with somebody. Maybe time to exit, who knows? That's also something that me and David's agencies can help you analyze to see whether this is a good time to start planning an exit. That's what I think is going to happen on Amazon marketplaces and on the seller side.
I definitely agree with you. You know, this everyone is saying it's becoming a serious business right now. There's a bigger amount of bucks getting involved, more people, more sellers, more companies, more investments. So definitely this is it. Peter, that was great. So thank you very much. Once again, guys, we will leave contact information. We will try to give probably a little bit of discount if you're coming from this channel to Peter's services. So get in touch with us. And Peter, it was really good. And wish you all the best for Hong Kong and everything. And I hope to see you very soon in Hong Kong.
Likewise. Thanks, David, for having me.
Thanks to you. Bye.
Okay, bye.